Hello and welcome back everyone to the next episode on SAP ABAP on HANA. Come S4 HANA training with me Anubhav. In our last episode, we learned about the concept of working with our SAP S4 HANA system. We've looked at the introduction to SAP HANA. We've seen what is SAP HANA, the so-called in-memory database. Why SAP HANA is called appliance. We also discussed about the concept of working with SAP HANA database, why it stores the data in the row versus column format. So it keeps the data in the column format and why it does so. We also discussed about the concept of benefits of row versus column store, when to choose which data store, and what it means for you and me as a developer for building a SAP application on a HANA database. Basically, we talked about what is code to data paradigm. We also talked about the evolution of SAP HANA, how SAP HANA came into existence with existing SAP solutions, which includes ECC on HANA, BW on HANA, Suite on HANA, and S4 HANA. And what technology do you use as a developer to build applications using ABAP on HANA? Then we discussed about how different solutions works together as part of the HANA database or in cases of HANA databases. So how does these different solutions work together? We discussed about that and we saw the job roles as a developer. What are the different jobs in the market? What are the kind of consultant roles do you get in the market? And what's the expectation of yours and mine with respect to this ABAP and HANA consultant's job? What are the activities which you and me will be doing typically as a ABAP on HANA technical consultant or AS4 HANA consultant in a company? Having said that, let's get started and continue now. And we will talk about our next topic for today, which is HANA architecture. So what are the different components which we typically have inside of a HANA database as part of an architecture? So HANA is not just called as a database, but it is called as a platform. So usually you draw the HANA. Let me draw it as a big box. And this is our HANA box. And this box contains multiple artifacts. So let me put it here. This is our SAP HANA platform. So why HANA is called a platform? Because of the reason being that it is purely not just a database, but it is more than just a database. It is having ability to not just store data, but it has ability to store applications, run machine learning, implement different analytical scenarios, support for different kinds of integrations. So this is the reason it is not purely a database. Rather, it is considered as a platform. Now, if you look at HANA platform, it consists of multiple components. The first component, which is part of SAP HANA database, is called HANA Access Engine, also known as Access A Engine, which is an advanced version of Access Engine. Now, this engine is responsible for allow you and me as a developer to also implement and run applications. Yes, different. It supports different runtimes so that we can build applications on top of SAP HANA, as I also depicted in the last class. So let me give you a simple example. I will go here and I will say int I, yes, or hashtag studio.h, yes, or hashtag include studio.h, conio.h. I'm sure some of you can relate with the school days. Yeah. So int I equal to 10, I plus plus, and print f I. Wow. I love it. So this reminds me my school days where I used to write my first program like this in computers. And by the way, this is the C programming. Now, can we run and execute this code here in the notepad? Can notepad have ability to execute this code? Answer is no. Why? Because in order to execute this code, what do we need? As a consultant, you need something called a C compiler. Yeah, you need C compiler to execute this code. This is what, as a developer, as a consultant, you would need to run this code. Now, similarly, if I write another code, for example, I say data lv mara, type mara, select single star from mara into lv mara. So what I've done, I have written in simple ABAP code. Can I execute this ABAP code here in the notepad? Answer is no. Again, you need, just like to execute C code, you need a C compiler. To execute this ABAP code, you need an ABAP engine. And that ABAP engine is part of what? Yeah, it's part of what? This ABAP engine is part of SAP's technical component called SAP NetWeaver. If you heard about SAP Basis or SAP NetWeaver, SAP NetWeaver is what? It contains the engine, the ABAP engine to execute the ABAP code. That is what NetWeaver is all about, right? So exactly same thing. So if you run a Java code, you need Java runtime environment. If you need JavaScript code, then you need Node.js runtime environment. If you run C, then you need C runtime and C compiler. If you want to run Python, then you need Python runtime. Yes, Anaconda. Yes, we call Anaconda Python runtime. So what SAP did, they implemented a lightweight access engine or a application server which has ability to perform and run different programming code on top of HANA. So if your company is purely choosing HANA as a database where you don't have a ABAP system, you still can build and develop applications with different programming languages. And the supported runtime are GRE for Java, Node.js for JavaScript, Python for Python, and you can also install other build packs on this database. So it cannot run ABAP, of course, but other programming languages direct support is there inbuilt. So if I have a Java program and if I buy SAP's HANA database, I can run it on top of HANA directly because it has the runtime environment needed to understand and run the Java code. So this is a lightweight application server. XS stands for extra small. Yes, that's a full form. Extra small or extended services. It's a lightweight runtime environment or runtime. It's a lightweight application server to allow you to build applications on top of HANA platform. So this is the first component HANA includes or HANA platform has, which allows you to run applications on top of HANA. The second component inside HANA database is called the name server. Now, what is name server? Name server in a distributed landscape, name server allows you to scale up. So in a distributed landscape, name server will be managing the orchestration between different nodes of HANA. Now, are you remember that in childhood days, your parents used to take you to for summer vacations, winter vacations outside your town, right? And we used to stand long in the train queues, right? When you go to train station, that time we didn't had these mobile or applications to book train tickets. We used to go to station and we have to book the tickets from the station, right? So during summer vacations, there was long queues outside the station, right? So what used to do station master used to do during summertime, they to reduce the traffic, they open one more counter. Yes, during that time, so that the load will distribute in two counters or three counters, right? The queue will become smaller. So now imagine in your company, you want to store 10 or let's say 100 terabyte of data, but one HANA database node comes with 100 GB. Yes, so you would need 100 terabyte. How do you achieve it? Because one node of HANA is only 100 GB, maybe let's say 1000 GB or 1 TB. Yes, so you need 10 nodes like that. So you can connect many nodes and then you can do load balancing between them. So there will be a name server component which is responsible for coordinating between these different nodes of HANA to achieve a good, large, scalable system. That is your name server component. Now, the next and very important component in HANA is called index server. This is the backbone of HANA. This is the actual in-memory store. Yeah, it's called index server. So this is the actual in-memory database component where data is stored. That's called index server. That's a third component in HANA. The next is called DI server. It's also known as daemon. Yeah. So DI server. What is DI server? So in HANA, the DI server role is to run the web services, like different web services which HANA supports for browser based integration. So it runs web services to handle all the web traffic. Like there is something called web id tool is there, then you have something called explorer is there. Yes, database explorer tool is there. So many tools are there. Catalog explorer tool is there. Yes, and monitoring tool is there. Administrative tools are there, which are web based tools. So the di server will take care of all the requests which are coming from web for these different tools of SAP HANA. This is the di server component. Now after that, the next component is called script server. Script server is also a very important component inside HANA, which is composed of multiple subcomponents. What does the script server contains? The script server contains three other important components. The first is called AFL, application function library. Third is second is the second one is called EML, external machine learning library, for integrating with machine learning frameworks. For example, Google's TensorFlow. Yes, and the next one is called PAL, Predictive Analytics Library. So, for example, I am looking at 20-year sales of my company, last 20 years. So I have some procedures available in PAL framework, which I can feed my data of last 20 year, and the PAL framework will predict the future, the probability. So in the next quarter, how would my sales would look like? Yes, what would be my expected sales in the next quarter? That's called, that is done by PAL, Predictive Analytics Library. It contains reusable functions which allows us to do predictions based on mathematical algorithms. So this is PAL. Again, I am not a expert on every component of HANA. Yes, I am not a champion on everything. If you ask me to teach AFL, EML, I cannot. I cannot. But as a developer, I just know the broad overview. What are the different components? How they look like? What is their purpose? That is enough for you as a ABAP consultant to know about HANA. Now, after the script server, the last component, which is part of SAP HANA, is basically doc store, which was introduced since HANA 2.0. So in HANA, you can of course store tables with the two-dimensional structural data, usually in any database, but SAP introduced something called doc store. So it is a JSON-based store for documents in database. So suppose there is a file, PDF file, Word file. Yes, it's very big. It's hundreds of megabytes or 1 GB of data. Yeah, which is one single file, 1 GB data. So your database table cannot accommodate such a big data. So SAP allows you to store the doc store. Yes, have you tried sending large file using WhatsApp? It doesn't accept, right? So what do? You put them in Google Drive and then you give the link to your friends on WhatsApp, right? So similarly, SAP allows you to store large size of files, binary files, below files, CLOB files, and these files can be stored in a doc store in a JSON format, and then you can use it and you can connect it with your tables. So this was introduced since HANA 2.0. If you talk about HANA itself is a very big technology, and HANA consultants, or there are consultants who are dedicatedly working on these components. So you will find one person with 10-year experience only on doc store. You will find one person 10-year experience only on PAL. Yeah, so these are all self streams, big streams within HANA itself. Like engineering, in engineering you have many streams: mechanical, aeronautics, electronics, IT, computer science, right? Within each stream, you have many subjects. Yes, and within each subject, you have many flavors and many books to study. So each of these are individual subjects of HANA. Yeah, this is what how big the HANA database is. But as a consultant, a BAP on HANA consultant, you should just know the overview. If you want to become an expert, maybe you have to find a trainer who can just teach you PAL, who can just teach you EML. But I, as a developer, as a ABAP consultant, ABAP and HANA consultant, I just need to know the overview. I don't need to go deep dive in these components because we are not directly going to interact with them. Yes. And wherever we are going to interact with them, I'm going to teach you. Yes. Whatever component we'll interact, I'll teach you. So then apart from that, we have three more things. We have integration tools. So let me note down. We have integration tools to integrate HANA with other third-party softwares. We have LM tools, lifecycle management tools, which allows you to manage the life cycle of HANA, take backups, you know, send the data objects into a different system, manage repositories. And then finally, we have also the tools related to provisioning, DP tools, data provisioning tools, which allows you to provision the data. So last class, I showed you that it is possible to bring data from multiple data sources, yes, into HANA database. So how do you do that? To achieve that, you need data provisioning tools. You have different tools which need to interact with HANA so that it can pull or push massive data into database. So this is a broad overview of SAP HANA platform. Any question till now? Any question in our today's session so far? Any question? No questions? Very good. So let's proceed further. So anyway, these are just the components. Now let's quickly talk about who are the people who are ultimately the callers of HANA. I mean, who interact with our HANA platform. So HANA platform can be interacted by BW system. Yes, it is possible that a BW system is connected to HANA. HANA platform is connected via S4 HANA system, of course, if your company is using S4 HANA. Any third party systems, they can also connect to HANA. We have HANA Studio tool. This is a tool which is used in industry to directly connect to HANA database. As a developer, as a consultant, you can connect to HANA using this tool. And we can have browser who can also connect to HANA. Yes. So these are the different people, different systems who will use the HANA as a database. Now let's understand the deep dive objects of index server. I mean, what is inside the index server? Now, once again, I would like to repeat myself that you should just know the overview. Nobody in interview going to ask you detail about each component because they are not relevant for you as a ABAP or HANA consultant. But for our understanding purpose, I'm covering a brief overview. So when you go to system, you should not get confused. Now, before I move on to index server architecture, let me quickly show you the HANA database by connecting to our remote desktop. If you have taken Anubhav training server, then you get this remote desktop access. In that access, we have already installed this HANA Studio tool for you. You can double click and open this tool, launch, and the tool will launch. And this is the tool which you can use to connect to HANA database. Now here is where I connect. You can see I've connected. I will explain about these folder structures later, but I will right now choose my database and click this button called auth administration. I click on that, and now you will see that I get my database. So if I go to landscape, you can actually find the different components. Remember the daemon, the DI server, doc store, yeah, index server. Look at that. And you can clearly make out that out of total memory, the maximum memory is consumed by the index server component. This is your actual in-memory store. This is your actual database. Yeah. Then you have name server, preprocessor, script server is there. Yeah, there are two script servers. One is master, one is slave. Then we have web dispatcher for all the web requests and access engine I was talking about, right? This is that access engine component. So these are the different components which are there as part of a HANA database. What I explained you in the diagram is actually you can see it live in the system. So if you have taken Anubhav training server, then you yourself can go to remote desktop and you can connect to HANA Studio. And then with the HANA Studio, you can click and you can go to administration to see these components in the system, just for your information. And in case you want to see the password is actually hidden in this user detail file on the desktop. So everyone will get an access to this remote desktop. And here in this file, if you open, you will find HANA database credentials so that you can easily connect to our HANA database from HANA Studio tool. This is a tool just like SAPGO is a tool to connect to your SAP system. This is a tool to connect to HANA. Okay, now let's talk about index server. So what is an index server and how it works? So as I mentioned, index server is the actual in-memory database that consumes most of the memory of the HANA system. So whenever a call comes from anyone to index server, so who can call index server? Index server can be called by a SAP system, like any SAP system. It could be, um, a SAP system. It could be HANA, BW, any system. Then it could be called by a SAP system. It could be called by browser. It could be called by a third party integration system. It could be called by lifecycle management tools or data provisioning tools like SLT, BODS. So anyone can call SAP HANA. It could be called by BW, BPC, yes, or ECC or S4 HANA, any SAP systems, they all can actually call our HANA database. So when they call HANA platform or HANA database, how will the how will the processing happens in the index server? How exactly this whole game begins? How this this whole thing will take its shape? Yes, how exactly the communication happens? So let me explain that. Yeah. So when they call, this is the system boundary I draw, and when a call comes to HANA, the very first thing the call will go to our first component inside HANA, which will handle this call. And now this component will be responsible to actually check the permission whether this user has a permission or not. So this component is called connection and session pool manager. So connection and session manager component. This component is responsible to first receive the calls which are coming from any system or any browser or component to HANA. Now, this call which has come, you need to check whether this is a valid user or not. So what it does, it will redirect the call to a component in HANA called access UA interview question. Which component in HANA database responsible to check the authorization and authentication of the user? It is called access UAA, user account and authorization. UAA means user account and authorization. This is the component inside HANA database responsible to manage the user authentication and authorization in HANA. So the call will be redirected to this engine. This engine will check if the given username and password is correct or not. If it is correct, then what happens? The session manager will create a session inside HANA database. So you can actually see all the live sessions, which how many, I mean, the administrator can monitor these sessions. Who is connected to my database? What are they doing in the database? What are the jobs or activities they are doing in the database? If they want to, terminate someone from the system permanently, they can do that. So that is something which the connection and session manager does. Now from here, the call will go to the next component. The next component is like a dispatcher, which is responsible for processing the request. So it is called request processing and execution control unit in HANA. So that is the next component. So let me put that here. Request processing and execution control. So this is the second component where the which is all of this is part of index server actually. So then the call comes to this particular component. Now what is the job of this component? The job of this component is to check what kind of request it is. Yes, just think about your team lead in your company. So what happens? All the work first comes to your team lead in your company, right? And then your team lead see what kind of work it is. Is it a development task? If it is development, is it RISE object? Is it administration in a app, or is it a bug fixing maintenance, or is it a testing task? Yes, or is it a design task? So your team lead will then assign this task to one of your team member who is good in doing that kind of a task, right? Like a bug fix or new development or debugging or session management or what kind of work it is. So it's like your team lead who will distribute the load in the team members. So in your team you have different team members expertise on different things. Yes, maybe some of you are very good in ABAP, some of you good in BW, some of you good in everything. Some of you good in cloud, some of you good in debugging, some of you good in troubleshooting, some of you good in bug fixing. So what happens? This component knows who is good in what, and then it will distribute the load accordingly. Yeah, it's like your team lead in your company. So now what happens? There are different subcomponents inside the index server. These subcomponents are responsible for a particular kind of work. Yes. So what are the different components? Let me plot them first. One, two, three, four, five, six. Total seven components are there inside the index server, which are responsible for different kind of tasks. So first comes is SQL processor. Yeah, okay, let me reduce the font size. Otherwise, this will be too big for us to manage. So I'm just going to go back. Okay, so first component is called SQL processor. What is SQL processor does? It is responsible for processing all the DML requests. DML means data manipulation language. So whenever it's a database ultimately. So to a database, what do? You give the request to database related to reading the data, select query. Yes, you write insert, update, delete, modify, all these SQL statements. You will give it to the system. So that is what this component will be responsible for processing all the SQL commands. It will go to this particular component and will process that. The next comes is MDX engine. What is MDX? It stands for multi-dimensional execution. Yeah, multi-dimensional execution. So some of you coming from BW background. In BW, like in ABAP, you write function modules, right? In ABAP, you write classes. Like in ABAP, you write select queries. Now, similarly, if you meet a BW person in your company, what they do? They write DSOs. They write BEX queries. So this is what a BW person do their day-to-day life. Yes, so like in a life of an ABAP developer, we write programs, classes, function modules, dialog programs, reports. A BW consultant write DSOs, BEX queries. So whenever a HANA database connected to BW system, they write BEX queries. These BEX queries are processed inside the MDX engine. Yes, so MDX engine processes all the BW queries in the system. Now the next component inside HANA database, it's called planning engine. What is planning engine does? If your company is using BPC, if you heard about BPC, BPC is another kind of ERP system. It's called business planning and consolidation. So now you hear that some companies have reported their numbers, like Tesla recently reported their income, their numbers to the shareholders. What is the profit in the company? What is the loss? What is the revenue, EBITDA, right? All these financial numbers. How did they do? They use SAP systems. And which SAP system they use? They use BPC, Business Planning and Consolidation System, BPC. So when you do planning in a company, there are different levels where you do planning in a company. In a very big organization spread across multiple countries, it is not manageable by one person. It is done by a system, and that's called BPC system. So in BPC system, we have planning functions which we execute. Now those execution of planning functions happens in the HANA database. So this is where all the BPC related planning execution happens in planning engine. So SAP HANA is basically a system which gets connected to many kind of ERP systems. That is the reason why we have many components over here which does the execution. Yes. So after the planning engine, we have stored procedure engine. Yes. We have stored procedure engine, and there will be three more subcomponents. Let me just make it a little smaller. Adjust a little bit of the screen size. Okay, perfect. So then we have the stored procedure engine. So stored procedure is basically responsible for executing SQL script. Now, good news, SQL script is part of our training. So stored procedure engine will execute SQL script code, which I will also teach you in unit number 7. So maybe that time I will cover more about stored procedure engine. So just understand that this engine will be responsible for executing your procedures in HANA. The next engine is called join engine. analytic engine, and calculation engine. So in HANA, we can build data models, and these data models are called views. So there are three types of views which HANA supports: attribute view, analytic view, and calculation views. So all the three type of views are executed by three type of engines. Yeah. So we will discuss this also in our unit number 5. So that time I will come back to this slide again to tell you the purpose of these engines. So these are the different components which are actually make a happy family called HANA family. Yeah. This is the HANA family. So if you talk about a family, just like a happy family, this is also a happy family of different components inside to do their respective processing. So that is what SAP HANA database index server component consists of. Now, after that, we have something called in-memory store and we have persistency layer. So let's put here the in-memory store. What is in-memory store? This is the actual in-memory store, RAM, where all the data is stored. So in the in-memory store, we have row store and we have column store, which we discussed. There are two types of stores. Yes, that's part of in-memory store. And then we have something called persistence layer, where we have the what we will do, but the persistence or the hard disk part, remember, we still need backup and recovery options. So we have page management and logging. Page management, where you store the actual data in a hard disk as a backup data, and you have logs. So it is possible in case you lose the power by chance, then you can recover your data using these logs and page management. So that is actually persistence layer, which is still the traditional relational database management system kind of a stuff. So this is the architecture of index server, how index server works behind the scene. Any question on this? Any question on index server? You can ask your question on the line or in the chat window. Okay, perfect. So having said that, now let's move to the most asked question by you in the previous episodes, which is server access for this course. I just wanted to reaffirm, just get a confirmation. Are you guys able to hear me? Can one of you please confirm?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So let's move on. Now talk about server access for this training. So Anubhav, I am attending your SAP ABAP on HANA training and I want to practice this course. Where can I get server? What are the options do you have? So option number one, it's a free option, guys. What is the free option? Use your, and it is recommended also from my side. Use your company system. And the question comes, how do I check if my company system is relevant or ready for this training or not? Yes. So what is the version and where we can look what version does it have and how are we going to use this? Yes, that is what I want to see. So first of all, what you can do, you can go to system status in your system and check SAP basis above 752 SP2. So this should be the version of SAP basis. If your company have, you are good to practice this course. On top, you can also look for S4 core. Version doesn't matter as long as you S4 core means it is a S4 HANA system. So this will give you a confidence and confirmation that the system you have in your company is ready to be utilized and used for this course. Let me show you how you check it. So you go to maybe SAP GUI only to begin with until we cover the tooling, and you can go to here and log into your company SAP system, how you used to do as a developer. and go to system, status, and here you will see this magnifying glass. Click on that, and then you can see what is the version of SAP basis. So mine is, our training system is 758 latest. Yeah, this is latest. I want 752 and above. If you have 752 above with support pack level 2, yes, here it's good enough to use that server of your company for this course. Second thing, you can check if it has S4 core. If you have S4 core, that is a confirmation that it is a S4 HANA system. So all the features, including VDM, which I will be teaching in this training, they would need a S4 HANA server because we are learning S4 HANA latest. Yeah. So this is 108, mine is latest, which is on-premise latest 2023 September release. The next release is 2024 September. So it's a on-premise yearly release cycle. So this is the latest almost which we have. So that's very good. We have got a system. The second thing, you can check if your database is HANA or not. So if you come down to database data, you can see here HDB. Can anyone guess what is HDB stands for? Anybody in the room? Would you like to share your points?
It's HANA database.
HANA
Very good.
database.
HANA database.
It's HANA database.
Absolutely. So no rocket science, it is HANA database. So this way you can check your company system. If your company system is using HANA database and if it is ready to be used for this training. Yeah. So that is option number one. You
So,
can check your company system. Yes, ma'am.
is it HANA 2.0? And how we can check that?
Okay. So HANA version
Like,
specifically, if you want to check, then you can go to, like I showed you few seconds ago, to the HANA studio in your company. Just give me 1 second. Let me open that. 1 second. And we can go to HANA Studio. And in HANA Studio, actually you can see here in the overview itself the version of HANA. So this is our HANA database. Here we click admin tool and then we can go and check the version. So ours is HANA 2.0 support pack 7, which is latest again. And it is running on social Linux with the Dell hardware. Remember last class I told you only certified hardware, Dell, Lenovo and HP. These are the three companies. What are the components installed? You see application function library, FL, this EML, external machine library. These are components, extra components installed in this HANA system. What's the total memory? It is 250 GB actually. It's a 250 GB RAM system. Yeah. Resident memory 250 GB. You can see this is the operating system memory. Out of operating system, how much is consumed by my database? Yeah. This is total operating host memory, total operating system memory. This is database memory, yeah, on the host, which it is consuming. This is the CPU uses. We have almost 100 threads of CPU. It's a 100 core CPU actually. Yes, out of which maximum 7 were ever used and 4 is currently being used. 4 cores are being used currently. So this is what exactly I taught you in the last class. Now we are able to see all of it in the live system. And this is the in the hard disk component for backup and recovery. So we have 1200 GB hard disk, 1500, 1200 GB hard disk over here for the backup and recovery purpose. Yes, so that we can take the backup. Again, we will not take the backup. It is not our duty. It is the duty of administrator. But just you can actually check. So RAM size is the in-memory memory. Remember, it's a in-memory database. This is the RAM size, 251 GB. This is the actual RAM size. Yeah, this is the actual RAM size. What is available? So currently 149 GB is used. Maximum 150 was used at some point of time. We don't know when. Was it 10 days ago, 12 days ago, 7 days ago, or an hour ago? We don't know. But maximum was ever used was 152. Currently being used is 149 and total available is 251. So this you can actually check. This is how you can check your company SAP systems for the HANA database access. Okay, now coming very important part, Anubhav, in case I don't have my company system. So now let me tell you the second use case. The second use case could be I am a freelancer consultant working in USA, Canada, or any part of the world and do not have a system. Or maybe I have my client but don't want to use their system for training purpose. So what are the option Anubhav I have as a consultant? How can I get a server to practice this training? So in this case, what we can do, Anubhav Training offers a SAP system access on demand. On demand means if you need, we give you. If you don't need, we don't give you. Yes. If you need, then we charge you. If you don't need, we don't charge you. So by default, we never ever charge our students. There is no hidden fees of system. We don't force our students to take our server. In fact, it's a headache for me. If I have to give you server, it's a tension for me. We are not a server company. We are a training company. But since our student believed us so much and they say, Anubhav, I just want to get everything from you. We started this service on demand. Again, I don't recommend to use option 2 because it's a cost on you. I recommend option 1. Is still in case you want, we have option for that. What's a what's a cost? So first thing is what is the cost? So cost is 2500 INR per month per user. If you're paying in dollar, it is $40 per month per user. So what is the process to subscribe this server? The process is very simple. Send mail to server@anubhavtrainings.com. What is the mail? Hello team, I want to take SAP S4 HANA server access for training. Please let me know payment process in which currency. Yeah, which currency? Whatever currency. Thank you. Send an email to our team. Yeah, and we will send you the details to process the payment and then we can arrange the server access for you. This is already a discounted price and there is no offer for 6 months or 1 year like that. There is no offer for that. So it is a fixed cost. Actually, it's a headache for me. Since we started this training, many students keep asking, Anubhav, we need server from you. We need same server where you practicing so that we can learn, we can understand because my company don't have S4 HANA. Some people, they have S4 HANA, but they don't want to use their company server. Some people have, they use also, but it doesn't work. There are authorization issue, permission issues. They don't want to go to their manager. So all these problems are there. So to help you, we started this service. We are not earning anything in this service. In fact, it's a tension for me. Yes, because we have to handle a lot of mails, lot of issues, lot of management we have to take care. I have to hire people to manage all this server and take care of all this headache. But it's okay. It's one stop shop for all your services, what you need, so that your learning never stop. So now, what do you get with this server? What is this server can do? So first of all, what is this server configuration? It is S4 HANA on premise, latest system 2023. That is the S4 HANA on premise release latest in the market. Yes, with HANA 2.0 support pack 7, which is also latest, along with remote desktop access for HANA Studio. So you can access HANA database with HANA Studio. Good news is you can connect local computer, your personal or office, doesn't matter. Whether it's a personal laptop or office laptop. You can connect from your local computer GUI to our system. And later the ADT tool, which is the main tool for this training. I will be teaching today what is ADT. So you can connect from your local computer ADT to our system. All Anubhav courses can be practiced in this course. So if you're planning to take future courses with me like UI5, Fiori, RESTful application programming model, Fury Advanced, Fury Security, Fury Rapid Deployment, Rapid Activation, UI5, OData Development, OData, CDS views, AMDP, ADBC, View Proxies, Analytic Cloud Integration, any kind of training which I offer on our website, all those trainings can be practiced in this single server. And the best part, no VPN required to connect to our server. No matter which country you are in, even you are in Brazil, South Africa, or in the farthest countries like Chile, yes, or Czechoslovakia, any country you are, you can access our server from anywhere in the world. This server is running on 100 Gbps lease line. So lease line speed is amazingly fast. It's a private line on which it is running 24 by 7 availability, and there is no usage limit that you cannot use more than, let's say, 10 hour, or there is no hourly limit. 24 by 7 it's up and running all 30 days. The fixed price per month is this per user, and then server is yours. You can do practice in this server everything, all my courses. The best part is we will provide complete documentation to connect with this server, so you can get complete hand holding. We will give you a Word document with the step-by-step approach. Let me also show you quickly the document. So this document access, we will give it to you, where you can find a step-by-step guide of how to connect to your system. Yeah, from our HANA system, from our GUI system, from ADT tool, yes, to ABAP system, everything will give you step-by-step description, this document, along with videos and complete hand holding for you, so that you can connect to our system very easily and effectively without any issues. We will give you full support. We have also a 2-hour SLA. SLA means if you have got a issue, your user by chance got logged, or you got a problem, you have authorization problem, yes, you can send us an email and within 2 hours the issue will get resolved. You know my internal SLA, 15 minutes. Within 15 minutes you will get response. I'm sure some of you would agree how fast you got a response earlier when you opted for this training. Yes, so we have very strict deadlines within our team. We work around the clock in shifts. There are around 20 people working in shifts in my teams to support you, so that you will not lose the time and you get instant values with us. Yes, so our support is very good in case you by mistake lock the user or have an issue. Our working time is morning 9:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. IST India time. So during this time, if you have got an issue, within 2 hours your issue will get resolved. That's our SLA. Again, I don't recommend our server. I recommend option one, your company server. We are not happy if you take our server, because it's a headache for me. We are not a server company. But since students want everything, we offer the services, but we are not making any profit in that. Yes, it's a non-profitable business for me. I'm just doing it so that you all will have hands-on experience in case you are struggling with the server access. All right, next, what else do you get with this server access? So you can practice, you can create CDS views, HANA views, you get HANA DB access directly. You get remote desktop where you can connect to HANA using HANA Studio. You will be able to build services, which we will be learning in this training. You'll be able to access Fury Launchpad Designer, all the tools, including the BAS access. BAS is a business application studio tool in SAP BTP, which we will be using in this training to also build Fury applications. So complete Fury application lifecycle of an app, starting from design to development to testing to packaging to deployment to transport, everything you can practice in this server. Yes, that is what you will get. All the things which I will show you during the class, it will all be able to practice. You will I will be using same server during training. So you can browse my packages to view the code, but it doesn't force you to take my server access. Anyway, I will be sharing all the source code with you as part of notepad file. So you will find whatever we build, whatever views we will build, CDS views we will build. Anyway, I will share the code with all of you. But just in case, if you're taking server access, the same server I will be practicing. So if my code works, you can guarantee that your code will also work. So everything will work in this single server for you. So this server is can be used for all the kind of development. We will provide developer user with all the authorization to develop real-time application and case studies. So we will configure server with all the test data so you don't lose time preparing safe. Many time you get a case study or scenario and what you observe, अरे system में data ही नहीं है, you don't have data in the system. Now you spend lot of time and hours to configure your system first with the data and tables so that then you can start building actual code. Yes, so that you will not lose because our server is pre-configured according to this training, and all the tables, custom tables which I will be using throughout the journey, they will be created along with the test data. So you don't lose time. You focus more of your time on productive development rather than focusing on side development like building table, loading temporary data, configuring things. No need to do that. Yes, that will be the beauty of this system. And the good news, yes, if you take server by end of tomorrow, we will give free SAP GUI installation to all of you. So you can also set up GUI in your personal laptop. Some of you are even afraid of using your company laptop for this training. You have a personal home laptop. There you can install SAP GUI and practice everything in your personal laptop also. So that is the offering what we can offer from our side. So none of you will go out of this training without hands-on. You all will have hands-on and proper real experience of practicing on live system for the scenarios which I will be teaching it as part of this course. Now, any questions before we take the break on server access?
Um, Anubhav, so we are using HANA Studio for creating CDS views,
No, ma'am.
whatever
We will
development.
be using ADT tool, and that's our next topic. What tools are we planning to use for this training? That will be our next topic, ma'am.
Okay. Oh, means Eclipse, like
Eclipse. That
Eclipse.
is our next topic, ma'am. I will show you how to set up Eclipse and what is Eclipse.
Anubulata here.
Yes, ma'am.
If we are going to tomorrow, by end of the tomorrow, if we ask for server request, I mean, it will be for only for March month. Again, for April, again we need to, like monthly wise, we have to pay or
It is per
all at
month
a
per
time.
user.
Okay, one time.
Yes. So let's say now you take access today. Today is 27th of January. So it will be valid
Mhm.
till 26th of February, the
Okay.
server access. And then on 27th of February or 26th of February itself, you can say, I would want to continue my user and here is the next month payment. Like that, you can continue. That is up to you. You can discontinue anywhere, anytime. You can continue and even you can continue even after the training. Let's say the training got over in the March, but you want to
Yeah.
practice and keep this server for let's say till December for your own learning and training, and like because we also started rap training. Maybe you take my rap training in the coming days. So there also you would need server. So same server can be used and you can keep continuing your subscription as and when you want.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Okay. All right. So now let's quickly take a break with that, and we will come back after a short break to begin our next topic, which is the tool required for developing this course. I'll start the break timer. I will be on mute during the break, and we will begin our next topic after the break. You all can take a break. I'll also take a break. All right, welcome back after the break, guys. Let's proceed further. And now we are going to talk about, once you have a server access, how do you connect to your server? And what tools are we planning to use for this training? And once we decide, how do you install and configure these tools in your system? So let's talk about tooling for ABAP on HANA develop. So now, first of all, let's look at the components which we usually have when it comes to our system. So now, usually we have our database, first of all, the HANA part, which is our database. The second component which we have is our application server, our S4 HANA system, which is our application layer. Yes. And our new front end will be browser. So browser will be our new front end where we will be running our Fury apps. So we'll be building Fury apps. Now, three different layers and three different tools you will be using. So till today, what you already know, what you already work with is SAP GUI tool. But going forward, this tool is useless. We don't use it. Yes. Going forward, you cannot do you cannot do any development like CDS, views, AMDP, nothing with this GUI. But this tool is still required in your laptop. Yeah, you still need the tool in the laptop, but you cannot use it for development of ABAP on HANA objects. Yeah, I will tell you the reason later. Now, this tool you need it still. Yes, keep it ready and install in your laptop. We need it. But for development, we cannot. For related to like CDS views or AMDP. I'll tell you the reason later. The new tool which we will use is Eclipse tool. Now, many people think the moment they hear Eclipse, because during your college days, you used to use Eclipse tool for Java development, right? Now you think Eclipse is Java. No, guys, Eclipse is not Java. It's a tool. Tool like if you heard about SAP GUI, it's a tool. Browser is a tool. Similarly, Eclipse is a tool used by billions of developers across the globe. Now, these developers can use Eclipse tool for variety of development like website development, enterprise application development, plugin development, library development, Java development, C++ development. Many kind of development can be developed on this tool. Yes, it's a best part. It's a free tool, lifetime free. So you don't have to pay to anyone for any license fees for this tool. That's the best part of this tool. But the problem is this tool cannot connect to ABAP system. It cannot. Yeah, it cannot. So what SAP did, they build a plugin for this tool. They build a plugin. So by default, Eclipse tool can't understand SAP system. It cannot talk to ABAP system directly. Not possible. So if this tool want to talk to SAP ABAP system, it cannot. It cannot. So what SAP did to allow this tool to be ready and talk to SAP, they build a plugin. This plugin is called ADT. ADT. What is the full form of ADT? Interview question. ABAP development tool for Eclipse. That's the full form of ADT. Remember, interview question, ADT, ABAP development tool for Eclipse. This is the tool. So what you do is you install the ADT plugin on top of it, and now it can talk to your S4 HANA system. Now what SAP also did, they downloaded this complete source code because Eclipse tool is a free tool. They downloaded the source code of this Eclipse tool and they modified Eclipse tool to also be used for HANA. So there they created a HANA Studio tool. So HANA Studio is what? It's a modified version of Eclipse. Yes, interview, if somebody asks what is HANA Studio, it's a modified version of Eclipse by SAP for connecting to HANA. Yes, so that is what HANA Studio will be used. So we'll use HANA Studio to connect to HANA database. We will use Eclipse tool with ADT plugin to connect with ABAP. So if you add this ADT plugin on HANA Studio, it is also possible to connect HANA Studio also with ABAP system, because ultimately HANA is a Eclipse. Yeah, so that is also possible, just in case. However, if you are still confused between Eclipse and HANA Studio, I would refer you to a video of mine where I explained in a layman way the difference between HANA Studio and Eclipse. So let me give you that video, HANA Studio versus Eclipse. So you can actually check this video of mine on YouTube, which will give you a good understanding in 22 minutes dedicatedly only on this topic. Yes, what's the difference between Studio and Eclipse? So go through this video. This video is going to help you to get you a clear difference between these tools. Just in case you are confused still and you want to strengthen your knowledge more on this topic, this is the extra video, extra learning I'm putting in the training material you can go through. There I've taken a layman way example like making process of a pizza, how we make a pizza and how do you relate with that HANA Studio and Eclipse tool. So go through that video, it's worth watching in case you want to deep dive. So moral of the story, Eclipse is a tool which is a free tool for any kind of development. SAP built a plugin to connect to ABAP system. The plugin is called ADT. The second, SAP also downloaded the Eclipse tool code and they modified it and published it as a HANA Studio to also connect to HANA database. Since HANA Studio is a Eclipse only, you can install ADT plugin on HANA Studio also to connect to your ABAP system. So this is the moral of the story. Now the next tool which we will be using in this training is called BAS tool. It's called Business Application Studio tool. This will be we will be using little later to build our Fury apps. So this is how these different tools we will be using. So for time being, you still need the GUI installation in your laptop, but we will not be using GUI for this training. This training will use Eclipse with ADT. Now the question comes, how do you install ADT? What are the steps to install ADT in my laptop? Now when I say my laptop, laptop could be your company laptop or laptop could be your personal laptop also. But remember, in your company laptop, you should have administrator privileges to install tools in your company. So some companies, they don't allow to install third-party softwares, or they will not give you permission to install anything in the company laptop. So then you may need to ask your company admin to give you the installation. Yes. So you can just also check software center of your company, official software center, where you can already find Eclipse tool which you can install also. That also you can do. Now, what are the steps? The steps are very well documented already by SAP. So let me go to those steps. So we go to something called tools.hana.ondemand.com/hashtag ABAP. This is the link where you can go and check the steps. So steps here, and I will copy these steps as it is. So first of all, if you are using a Windows laptop, please make sure these are the prerequisites. So first you need GRE. GRE 17 or GRE 21. GRE stands for Java Runtime Environment. Why do we need that? We don't need Java for this training. Why do we need this? So this basically, the Eclipse tool itself is built using Java technology. So to run the tool, you need GRE. Yeah, you need GRE. Where do you get the GRE from? So you can just go to Google and you can search for GRE 70, download, install, and you can find official website of GRE from where you can go and download. So we are using Windows, so of course Windows MSI installer, this is the one you need to download. I'm putting a direct link of GRE. So this is step number one. First we will talk about prerequisites. So install GRE. This is what the tool itself is based upon. Then if you're using Windows laptop, then you need to also install this Windows Redistributable 2013. Yes, that's another environment you need to install in the system. So that also you need to install for your laptop. So let me just give me 1 second. I just copy this link and I will say for Windows, some extra libraries which you find there. Once these two steps are done, and of course SAP GUIs anyway you need to have three things. You need to have it ready in your laptop first. Yes, for you to install the Eclipse and then ADT. Okay, now the main course. So that was starter. So when you sit on dinner, you have starters and then you have main course. So what is the main course to eat? So now the main course is this. So let me copy as it is and put that over here. This is our main course. So very good. SAP is already telling me everything. Now, first step, we need to download Eclipse tool. Now, Eclipse tool is available free of cost, as I told you earlier, and you can click to go to the link. And in this link, you see the Eclipse tool for developers. Yeah, and you can see download. When you click on this download button, it will download in your laptop. So I already downloaded it because I've conducted many corporate trainings and open trainings on ABAP on HANA. So it is already downloaded in my laptop and I don't want to lose the time. But I will show you where it downloaded in my laptop. So in my computer D drive, it has created a Eclipse folder where I've got it Eclipse downloaded. So you download it and it comes like this. And in this, you see this eclipse.exe file, which you will actually find to create your or log in to or connect to your Eclipse tool. So this is how you can actually find your Eclipse executable. Once you download, you will find that. Now what we will do, we will actually run that. We will actually run that. So let's go ahead and run that. Yeah. So I will basically have to just double click. I just have to double click to start the Eclipse tool. So let me just double click and it starts like this. You see, I'm using 2023 September version, which is good. That's I guess the latest one. And it first asks you workspace. What is a workspace? Workspace is nothing but a folder in your computer where this tool is going to store the files. Yeah, a folder in your computer where the tool is going to store the files. So that is this workspace. We don't have to touch this. Just say launch and it will launch our tool. So just like any other tool in our company, this is just a tool. Any other tool, like any other tool in our company, this is also just a tool. So the tool will start in few seconds in your laptop. You see it is booting up. Please make sure that you meet all the prerequisites first before installing the tool itself. Okay, please make sure these prerequisites are all met. Only then you should go with the Eclipse installation. Don't go with Eclipse installation without these prerequisites are met. Now the tool starts, it looks like this. And now just like any other development tool in your company which you might have seen ever, yes, this is also just a development tool like in your company. So on the left hand side, usually you will have the area where you will build your objects like your program, your class, everything you will build on the left hand side. Here you will build everything. And on the right hand side here, we will write our code. So just like if you look at SEAT, it's exactly like that SEAT. Yeah. So it's exactly like SEAT. So this is what you will actually do. Now, what happens is here, when you open the tool, you will not find any option for ABAP. So you have to go to the top right corner, this option called open perspective. Now perspective is nothing but it's a view. It's a view for any kind of development. If you want to do Java development, you switch to Java view. If you want to do ABAP development, you switch to ABAP view. So it will configure your options according to that particular development. So if you go there, you see ABAP here. But if it's a new installation, suppose you first time install this tool in your laptop, you will not find this option. Why? Yes, because I told you that Eclipse tool doesn't support ABAP automatically. So to work with ABAP with this tool, what do you need? You need the plugin. You need the ADT plugin. So how do you install ADT plugin? All the steps are here. So first you install Eclipse. Now you need to install plugin. So what are the steps? Go to help, install new software. Okay, let's go to Eclipse, help. I already have the plugin, but I'm just showing you the steps. Install new software, give this URL. Okay, let's give this URL, enter, and you can see it's booting up, and you see this ABAP development tool, ADT. Yeah, short form of ADT. Yes, ABAP development tools. Click on next, next, and you just have to proceed with the instructions, accept the license agreement, and just click on next, and finish. So this will then install ultimately the ADT plugin. Yeah, the ADT plugin for you to develop. So it will ask you enter, choose this ADT, click next. Yes, follow the wizard, enable all the features, click on next button, accept the license agreement, and finish. So that will begin the installation. So this might take up to 20 minutes approximately, depending on your RAM size and computer speed. So this you can just go pick up a coffee, have a lunch, and come back. By the time it will be installed. Now once the installation is done, system will restart the Eclipse tool. Yes, and then what you can do, you can have our SAP S4 HANA training system already added to GUI. So once you get a training system, whether you are using your company or my training system, please add that to your SAP GUI. I told you that SAP GUI is prerequisite also. So I have already added our SAP system over here for the training in the SAP GUI. You don't have to open, just add it. Yeah. Now, once the ADT tool setup is complete, so you can see it is just giving this, click on finish, and it will start the installation. So once it is done, then you will go to perspective again. You will find ABAP perspective like this. Yeah. And you open the ABAP perspective, the screen will come like this. And now on the left, you see create ABAP project. Now, what is a ABAP project actually? So let's understand that it's not a ABAP program actually. It's a ABAP project. So what is an ABAP project? So an ABAP project is just a connection to SAP system. So if you have 10 SAP systems, 10 different SAP systems like BW, S4, ECC, quality, production, development, different clients are there. Yeah. So what you can do, you can create as many ABAP projects, as many systems you want to connect from the Eclipse tool. So you come back and click on create ABAP project, and you see it open the GUI to show you all the systems which you edit. Wow. So if you have hundreds of systems in your company, all 100 systems will come here automatically. Yeah, you can choose your system, click on next button. It will show the details. Click on next button again. Now you enter the client as 800 because Anubhav training system client is 800. And this user ID password my team will give you when you take server access from us. And then you enter your user ID, your password of ABAP system. Yeah, ABAP system user ID password, and click on finish. Done. Congratulations. You see, your ABAP system got connected with Eclipse tool. Wow. Wow, guys. So now you can use this tool to develop ABAP specific objects. You can build everything like ABAP programs. Yes. Data dictionary objects like tables, table types, views, structures. Everything what you learned in ABAP, you can build using this tool in the same manner. Same manner. You can right click, you can create your new. For example, I want to create a first ABAP program. So I search ABAP program. Yes, click next. And I can say Z gen first program. Yes, my first ABAP program. Just like, hello world, finish. and the program gets created, and you will get a beautiful editor to start writing the program. So you can say write, it gives you code completion and help, and I say hello ADT, I am an ABAP on HANA developer. Wow. I save this and I have activate button. Wow, you see, just like in SAP GUI, we have activate button, and now press F8 to run. And wherever it doesn't have a support using ADT, it will open a GUI window itself directly. So you see it is opening a GUI window to print your output. So this is why we still need the GUI, because it has good integration with the GUI. So this is your first ABAP program. Now my question to you, if I copy the program name, and just in case if I go to GUI manually, in case if I use the old tool, yes, the GUI tool, and if I log into my system in using the old tool, and if I go to SE38, will I find that program or not? Anyone? If I
Yes.
go to my,
Yes, we will.
will I find my program or not?
Yes.
I will
Yes.
find. Why? Because programs are created in the server, and you are connecting to the same server. Either you are using GUI tool or you are using Eclipse tool. Yes, programs are created and stored in the server. Yes, so this is why you will still find the program in both the tools. Yes, so but recommendation from day one, from day one, my recommendation to all of you is start using the Eclipse tool. Why? Because this is the go-to tool for all the ABAP on HANA development. For example, just to show you, if you want to build CDS views, you cannot do it with the SAP GUI, because there is no option in SAP GUI to create CDS views. Yes, you have to create CDS view here. You see here, you cannot create CDS views using SAP GUI. There is no option in SAP GUI to do that. There is no, it's impossible. So this is why let's dump this tool. We don't use this in this training at all. We will always use from day one our ADT tool.
Uh, Anubhav, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Suppose if you create the program directly in SAP GUI, can we see that here, right? I
Yes.
mean,
If
vice versa.
yes, vice versa, of course. Can I also see my database table? Which database table you want to see? Tell me any database table name. Come on, guys. Which database?
Mara or
Mara?
like
Okay.
VBAC,
Yes.
VBAC,
Control
VBAC.
Shift A. Search Mara. Any object which contains keyword Mara, it will show everything. You see, it's Google like search. This is impossible in GUI. And you can open the table, and then you can right click. You can also say open with GUI. It will open the table here only in the GUI mode. You see how easy it is, and you see your Mara table. You can go to data, execute, you can preview data. Wow. Woohoo! So you can use GUI also inside Eclipse. This is amazing. This is the tool going forward, guys. Now I will tell you why. Why is like this? Why SAP choose this tool to be? Why the GUI tool? Why the Eclipse tool? Why the ADT? Yes. So why did SAP choose over GUI? So let me tell you the secret. Yeah. What is the secret? Why did SAP choose Eclipse tool preferred over GUI? So when SAP came up with S4 HANA, they wanted to offer better tool than SAP GUI. But to build a new tool like SAP GUI, it need billions of dollars. Yes, SAP need billions of dollars to build a tool like GUI, so that they can work with ABAP on HANA and S4 HANA systems. So what SAP did? They saved money. So they looked into market and found open source tools used by developers across the globe. Yes, and they found luckily that Eclipse was that tool used by, trusted by, used by billions of developers. So SAP is not the only development field for software developers. There are billions of developers in the market who building Android application, iOS application, yes, web application, enterprise application, websites, yes, so many different developments. SAP found Eclipse was that open source free tool used by billions of developers. So they thought, let's not spend money, let's reuse the tool and just build the plugin on top of it so that we get all the advantage of the already existing Eclipse tool. This is the main reason why they chose Eclipse. They just built the plugin and they got the wow effect. Yes. So they saved billions of dollars. In fact, at least millions of dollars of money rather than rebuilding and redesigning a complete new tool. They just build the plugin. Now, the benefits of ADT. First of all, it's free and trusted by developers across the world. So tomorrow in your company, there is a Java developer who want to learn ABAP. He don't have to learn GUI. He can directly start his development using Eclipse. This is going to bridge the gap between development community who want to become a developer with SAP. Becomes easy for them. Yes, because they are already using Eclipse. They can start learning ABAP on Eclipse directly. But that's not the only reason. Eclipse is free, trusted by developers, and Eclipse offers huge options for ease of development, testing, and debugging. So all the options it offers. Now let me show you some of the options. Control Shift A for searching any kind of SAP objects, which I showed you. I select the system on the top, Control Shift A, and I just type Mara. It does a Google like search in the entire system and it finds all the objects, whether it is a structure, data element, database view, include, yes, or table type, all the objects in entire system which contains Mara keyword. Google like search. You can search any object of your choice. Wildcard search also. Z star, let's say, EPM, something like that. If I want to search, you see, something which starts with Z contains EPM. It is able to search. So it gives you a powerful searching capability, a very powerful search capability. We have it in the system. You can easily search your SAP objects, any kind of objects with case sensitive search in the system with the wildcard. This is another advantage of Eclipse tool. What else? What else? You can connect multiple systems together. So you can work with dev, Q, and P systems in a single environment. In a single development environment, you can work with multiple systems. It is seamlessly integrated with SAP GUI. You just saw that when I executed my program, it launched a GUI window. So it has a very seamless integration with GUI. In fact, you can launch a GUI window inside the Eclipse using shortcut control 6. Let me show you. I go back, just close. Yeah, I just go say control 6 and press enter. It launch a GUI window inside the Eclipse. So you can also go to menu, system, status, and then you can check, are you on HANA database and what's the version of basis. Everything you can do here in a single environment, that too for development, quality, production, different client, different systems, BW, BPC, S4, ECC, any system you have. You can do it in a single screen. You don't have to switch between the tabs. And guess what? With SAP GUI, you can maximum open 7 sessions. Yes, यहाँ पे, if you open, you can maximum open 7 new sessions. But here, guess what? Infinity. You can open infinity number of SAP GUI sessions here. No one will stop you. more than 7 also. Wow, I like it. I like it. There is no limitation here with respect to number of sessions you can open. Cool, no? That's another advantage you get with Eclipse tool. Okay, so you can work with many systems, dev, QP, different landscapes, and different variety of systems. Now it is a single development environment. If your company is a versatile company where you're doing different variety of development, yes, so single development environment offering all kinds of development like ABAP, Java, .NET, C++, Android, yes, Fiori, सब कुछ in a single tool. You can use the single tool without switching between tabs. In a single tool you can develop. In Webdin Pros you can develop using this single development tool. It's possible. It's flexible and customizable development environment. Let me show you the benefit. So suppose I want to open two programs, one for quality and one for development, and I want to compare them. So I go to SE38. I'll open my program here, this one. Let's say this is my quality system, and I have another system where I have another program in the dev system. So maybe I just randomly open another program, just randomly opening something. I don't know what would be that, but I'll just open. So now I can just drag and drop this on the side. Yeah, and you can see I customized it according to my needs, and I can compare these two programs side by side. Let's say on one side you open your dev system program, another side you open your quality system program. You can compare them side by side. So it's fully customizable development environment. Yes, you have many options. You can see you can
Can we do
minimize.
version comparison like we do in SAP GUI, right? Like if you
That's the
want
same
to
thing, ma'am.
compare with quality.
Yes, you can right click and
I
then
mean,
yeah,
okay.
so you can do version compare also same way, the way you do it in web, as long as you have a transport request. So if an object is logged in a transport request, the version compare option is still available. So you can always just right click and you can just actually see the version compare option. Where is this object logged in a transport? If the object is logged in a transport, you can do that. You can see compare with, you see compare with option. It's there. So you have to choose a valid object and then you say right click, compare with previous version. So that anyways, all the features are there. Don't worry, all the features are there. So allow me to complete, you will be able to see everything. So it's a flexible and customizable development environment. It has fast searching and navigation, as I already showed you. We can also visualize class hierarchies. Suppose let me open a class randomly. So I open a class E to E I E I C T C T P C E X T. So just a random class of a project I'm opening. Yeah, it's a class. Now I want to know what is the parent class of this class. What I do, I just press Control T. I can just go ahead and press Control T. So I press Control T. I see ABAP type hierarchy. You see. Again I press Control T. And now look at that. It shows me the parent class of this class. So this is the class and I have another class above this, and above this we have another class. So I can actually see all the classes and their parent classes. Yes, all the classes and its parent classes we can see actually. So this is ABAP type hierarchy you can actually see quite easily when it comes to your classes in SAP. Fantastic. So this is how exactly you get the benefit. Plus what I love the most is the options here. Look at this window, show view, and I will use a view called outline view. Suppose there is a class and that class have 1000 methods. Yes, you can visualize them really quickly here. So you see this is the class and you see how many methods and attributes it has. If you scroll here, this class alone have 72,000 lines of code. If you want to jump to a method, it becomes so difficult to scroll down. But look at that. On the left, you see all the methods. So what do? You just click. You see, Wow. You just click. You see, it jumps. So it gives you an outline of what other functions are there. See? Wow. Cool, no? So this is how you can quickly jump over the function. So this class alone has 72,000 lines of code. So the outline view will give you a quick access to all the functionality without scrolling down huge number of lines of code. So that's another feature. And likewise, you cannot imagine how many new features are there or how many features are there with this tool. This is a very powerful tool. I can conduct a 40-hour training only on Eclipse tool. Yes. However, during this journey, I will show you shortcuts and capabilities which you can use in Eclipse. Very powerful techniques to optimize your development. Yes. Now, this tool is the only development tool for ABAP on HANA development. You cannot build CDS views using Eclipse. Using SAP GUI. Impossible. Impossible. So you have to come to Eclipse. My recommendation from day one, even though you can use SAP GUI, please, everyone, please pay attention. My recommendation to all of you, since day one, please start using Eclipse tool from day one of your training when you start practicing with my training server. It has support for transport and the debugging. So you can debug and transport also. So if you see this particular object, you can actually open the transport organizer to look at the transport request. You see transport organizer and you can see the which transport request this particular object is logged. You can create new transports. You can activate, deactivate, send, release. So all the transports of my user, I can see, right click. I can add users. I can change owner. I can delete transport, refresh transport, share the link of transport. I can release the transport. I can run consistency check, everything. You can do it. You can debug. So you just double click on this line number, press F8, it will start the debugger. You see it started the debugger. Yes, I press F6 and the output comes. So you can debug your code also using Eclipse tool. Yes, wow. So it has debugging capabilities. It has good integration with ATC checks or also known as ABAP test cockpit. I have a dedicated lecture number 4 and 5 only on this part, which I will cover later on, but just to highlight this point. Then we can use this particular development tool. It has contains inbuilt quick fix feature. Suppose you've done some mistake. So what it does, it has a quick fix feature. So suppose I've done a mistake, LV MATNR type MATNR. So you see it's giving code completion also. You see code completion also coming. So MATNR. And you see I missed the dot. I don't have to hit the check button. It is doing the check at runtime. In GUI, what do you have to do? When you write the code, then you have to hit the check button to check. But you see, I didn't hit the check button showing me the issue. Cool, na? It increase efficiency actually. You can also go to problem view at the bottom to see all the issues at once in the entire program. Wow, cool. So I will show you the quick fix feature right later on, and I will also show you this. So it has on fly checks of the source code. Next, you can modularize our code using blocks. We can create code templates. Yeah, that also we can do with this tool. So you can take a particular piece of code, right click, and you can just create a modular code. So you can say source code and you can just go ahead and say extract a method. So this code will be then written inside a class method actually. Yeah, but right now I mean not in a class, but it is possible to write modularize your code. Now, how often as a developer you write loop at iTab in a day? Yeah, how often? Very often, right? At least you as a developer, a web developer, you may be writing loop it at 5 times in a day. Sometimes I remember when I develop, I write it 20, 30, 40 times a day. So suppose in a day, you are a developer and you're writing loop at item and you're taking 5 seconds to write loop at item. You're writing 100 loop at item. You're spending about 500 seconds a day. Yes. And if you do it for, let's say, 22 working days, you have almost spent how much? 500 seconds into 22 divide by 60. You spent 183 hours only to write loop at itab in your career. Bam, that's so much. I mean, this course itself is 40 hour. You can imagine that time what you save writing loop at itab with Eclipse, how much time you can spend for your learning. So they give you code template. You can create code template. So you can go to window and you can go to preferences, and in the preferences here you can actually create templates. So search for templates and you can actually find the code template here. I'll just show you. So you see ABAP templates, these are standard ABAP templates for a standard ABAP code, and I can create my own code template using new button. Let me create a code template underscore Anubhav. Underscore means it's a custom code template I'm creating for myself. This template will be present only in my Eclipse tool, my laptop. It will not affect other. Yeah, and I will put here pattern loop at itab into work area end loop, and then I will say write work area field 1, work area field 2, click OK. So you see the code template is created. It's a one-time effort. Apply and apply. And now watch out. I just say underscore Anubhav. Control space enter. Bam! Look at that. Woohoo! I saved like 5 seconds to just hardly half second. That's a great time saving. You can create code templates where you can write big code templates in your Eclipse tool. It will increase your developer efficiency. When you're writing a repeated code again and again, it can be quickly generated by the tool. SAP GUI can never reach close to this tool, guys. The kind of efficiency you get. I understand initial days of your career with this tool is going to be difficult. But believe me, once you get used to this tool, it's amazing. Now, how did you increase font size and above? There's a question in the chat window. Let me answer that. Go to window, preferences, go on the top to general, appearance, colors. Yeah, and there you have option to go to basic and come down to text editor, text font. You see this text font, edit, and you can change it to any size like 22, let's say Dubai font 22 with the medium boldness. Click on OK, apply. Okay, you see it has changed the font. Yes, so this way you can quickly go ahead and change the text font in Eclipse according to your convenience. How, what do you like actually? Yes, what kind of font you like, you can accordingly change that font and apply. Yes, you can see perfect. So you can increase decrease the font accordingly. So this is how we can use Eclipse tool, and we can connect to our company SAP system and we can quickly use it. Now you see all the GUI options usually what you use often in your company as a developer, like check, activate. Yeah, you see on the top, you see this check button, you see this activate button, activate all button. This is a mass activation option. So if I have hundreds of programs which are inactive, I can select everything in one shot and activate everything in one shot. It's called mass activation button. Anubhav, do we have where used? Certainly. So if you click an object, there is this where used. You see this where used. You can click on that. It will show you where all this particular class is being reused. You see these are the two places where this particular class is being reused. Superb. Superb, guys. So this way you can actually work with the Eclipse tool very, it's a very powerful tool. It's a very powerful tool. You can work with it. All right. So next topic will be, we will be starting our coding part in next class, but I'll just give you an overview of what we are planning to do. So we will be starting now new ABAP syntax. Now, what is new ABAP syntax? SAP ABAP is improving over the time so that we as a developer can write optimized ABAP code, which take less effort to do more. For example, avoid loops, merge multiple lines in one code line, and make ABAP easy to read and understand. Improve performance and code look similar to other programming languages. So as a developer, when you come to ABAP, you will get used to ABAP very fast. You don't have to spend too much time. Let's say some of your friend working on Java. When they come to ABAP, they don't find ABAP very difficult to understand. Yeah. Anyway, ABAP is never difficult, but just in case you have people coming from different backgrounds, they can also understand ABAP. This is what ABAP is doing. One disclaimer: new ABAP syntax does not mean that you have to change all the old code written in past. You always have backward compatibility, which means if I teach you something new now, it doesn't mean that you whatever you've done in last 10 year 20 year in your company, now you have to suddenly go and change everything. Of course, no company will do that, right? If SAP introduce new feature, doesn't mean that you have to now go back and modify everything which you developed over 20 years. Yes, you have spent already millions of dollars, and now your SAP says, okay, this is the new syntax, please use. That doesn't mean you have to modify everything. So even you are comfortable with the BAP, whatever you were able to do in the past, you can continue to do that. Yes, you can continue. Then what's the approach? When should we use new web syntax? In my opinion, I'll tell you, the best practice is all the new code which you plan to develop in future, use new syntax and keep all the old code which you build as it is in your company. Make sense? So this is something which is a bottom line I'm giving you. So do not mean that what I teach you now, that doesn't mean that you have to go and change everything in your company. Yes. So this syntax, whatever going to teach you, will work according to SAP NetWeaver version 7.4 and above. Yes. So any NetWeaver SAP basis version 740 and above, whatever I will teach you, it will work for that. Yeah, that's a NetWeaver version. Yes, that's a new syntax. Now, what are the new syntax? So I'll broadly classify our new ABAP syntax into two categories. The first syntax is new language features, and second category is new SQL syntax and features. Yes, these are the broad categories which I will do. So I will just note down here the bullet points. Of course, we will be doing this in the live system tomorrow for new web syntax. So first is called inline data declaration. The second feature which we have is the concept of escaping or concept of uh, inline field symbol declaration, or yeah. Then we have also string operator. We have new constructor function. So constructor operator expression. We have corresponding expression. We have value expression. Yes, value hash or value expression. We have ability to also write optimum ABAP code with the string expression. Okay, string operator, string expression I've already written. We have table expression. We can work with tables quickly. We have loops, smart loops over a table. We also have the condition expression. We can, these are the new features in the language. Now, new features on SQL side is we have ability to select columns with comma, escaping of host variables. We can apply string literals in queries. We can use new SQL functions in ABAP. We have case expressions, simple case and complex case expressions. We have uh, we have these expressions, and then we can use aggregate functions in having clause. We can also have ability to select on internal table. Yes, so you can fire select query on internal table. That's amazing. That's something new. Yeah, so till now you can only fire select queries on database table, but going forward you can fire select queries on internal table also. Yeah, that is the new feature. These are the new features I will be teaching you as part of our training. Yes, so this will be some of the amazing features you will be looking at in the next class. All of this we will be learning as part of a package of new ABAP syntax in our course. All right, so any questions before we close today's session? There are few questions in the chat. Let me read out first and then we'll take up questions on the line. So since Eclipse is for developers, what is the tool for functional consultants for doing configuration? Is still the GUI is the tool for functional consultants for doing configuration. They can also use Eclipse tool. Yes, because they can open GUI window. Yeah, they can open GUI window. I'm curious to know you asked to keep GUI as a prerequisite while installing the server. This is why. Because in Eclipse tool, you can open the GUI window. If we wouldn't have installed the GUI, then we cannot open the GUI window in the Eclipse tool. This is why we still need the GUI, because it has integration with GUI. Yeah, that's why. But we directly not going to be using the GUI. Yeah, this is why I still need the GUI installation in your laptop. Does this new ABAP syntax only work with HANA database? No. As long as you have SAP NetWeaver 740, irrespective of which database are you using, this syntax will be valid. Yeah, this syntax will be valid. It has nothing to do with HANA. These are new language features in ABAP. Because I will be heavily using these language features going forward in our scenarios. So that time you should not get confused and about what is this. Yeah, I'm seeing it for the first time. So this is why as a moral duty of my as a trainer, it's my moral duty to introduce this new syntax to you so you get comfortable with it. So later on when we build case studies and scenarios, complex scenarios, and I use it, you should not get confused. Yeah, that is the reason. It has nothing to do with HANA. Okay, so any other questions on the line? Your lines are open for your questions. Please shoot your questions now. I am ready with my bulletproof jacket.
Um, Anubhav, like I have a question. So suppose if you develop objects in Eclipse, how do you transport like to like quality? In normal like ECC, we develop in development environment and then we
Perfect.
transport to
Ma'am, it's the same
quality,
process.
right?
There is no change in the process. So let's say I develop a program in a package. So let me open a package. So let me open a package. So I'll open a
Yeah,
package.
we need to understand that left side hierarchy also, like
It is same,
what
ma'am.
is
What you do
S4D.
in SCAT, let me open your traditional GUI. Yeah, so it's just the color and the theme which is confusing you, but it is exactly the same thing. Yeah, let me open the GUI. What you are already comfortable, let me open that. So you guys go to SCAT. This is your ABAP workbench. Look at this on the left side. Yeah, look at this. Now come back to Eclipse. What is this? It's same thing. Look at this on the left side. You see, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. What you see in SEET, in ABAP, is just the color and the theme and the look and feel. It's the same thing, ma'am. No change. No change. You see, you have a package MOV5. You see, you have a package MOV5. My local object. My user is MOV5 user. I have a local objects. Yes. In my local objects, I have this services, this dictionary. In the dictionary, data dictionary, you have database table structures, table type views. You see, you come back here, you have dictionary, and you can see database table views, table type structures, and data definitions. It's exactly same, ma'am. Only the look and feel is different. Yeah. So install the tool today, connect to the system, experience yourself. Believe me, 1 or 2 days, it's just a matter of day or two. Yeah. First time when I saw it, I also had so much confusion. I also was uncomfortable with the tool. But now, on daily basis, when you use, perfect. Works like jam.
But
Now coming to transport
we
question.
don't have
Coming to
Eclipse,
transport question.
quality Eclipse, right? Yeah.
1 second, ma'am. Let me show you the transport wala question. So if you create an object inside a package, yeah. So ZCL, let's say I create a class demo trans demo uh, demo class, let's say class for demo, and I say next. You see, you got a transport pop-up. You can create new transport. You can enter a request number. You can choose your existing transports. So it is the same functionality what you do in the GUI, but screen look and feel is different. In fact, it has better option than GUI. Once you start using it on daily basis, yes, you will get comfortable. It's just a matter of you installing it and trying it out in your laptop. Just a matter of that. Yes. So HANA release information like support packs. How many versions have come? So HANA have by far only 2 versions, HANA 1.0 and HANA 2.0. In 1.0, we had 12 support packs. And in second version, which is 2.0, currently we are on support pack 7. In every support pack, they come with new features. And where can you read about these new features? What is that they are improving? So you can just go back to HANA, SAP HANA product roadmap. Just Google that. You get roadmap viewer for SAP HANA. And there you can check in each support pack what are the features they are coming up with. What are the new features they are coming up with. This is called roadmap viewer, where you can actually check SAP products, every SAP products. Yeah. And what are the features these new SAP products are coming with. So let me log in with my user ID. I will give you the link of this so that you can yourself check it. Ah, so many passwords, just one life of a developer, and many passwords in our life. Very difficult. Okay, let me log in with my S user ID. It'll open the roadmap viewer. I'll give the link in the chat window, ma'am, based on the question you asked me. So you can also save that. And here you can explore all the roadmaps. Yes. And you can see all the roadmaps of different SAP products. Yeah. So what is that we want to go? We want to talk about HANA. So do they have HANA also? They have S4 HANA actually. It's a HANA roadmap. I just want to search. Just search for SAP HANA platform. In fact, you also get the product documentation there also you can get. You see SAP HANA platform release 2.0 release notes. Yeah. If you go inside, there you will find the release notes, and in that you will find the complete detail about what are the new features they are coming up with release on release basis. Yeah. You can see here upgrading, yes, supporting operating systems. What are the new things they are coming with? Yes, you can see software components, references. Yes, so you can actually see all the different nodes for their support packs and release. What is the new features they are coming? Look at that. Support pack 2. Yes, you can see support pack 0, support pack 1, support pack 0, 2, support pack 1, revision 12, support pack 2, revision 21, support pack 2, Yes, support pack 1, 2, 2, like this. You can actually see everything over here, you see. Yes. So this is the link. I'll give it to you in case you want to read. It's an ocean of knowledge. How deep you want to go, it's up to you. If I change my laptop in the middle of the month of subscription, then your team will support me for installation of or any extra charges. So if you change your laptop in the middle, it doesn't matter because the user will, your SAP user will remain the same, sir. Yeah. But please note that if you have a Mac OS, we have no support for you because for Mac OS, we don't know where is SAP GUI and all that. We are not experienced on Mac. We are not that rich. So for Mac OS, we cannot support, but for Windows OS, yes, of course, once you follow the instructions, you will be able to install everything in your laptop properly. Yeah, you'll be able to practice everything in your laptop properly. With that, it's a wrap on today's session. Thanks for your time once again joining the session.